Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kate Borsato. So happy to have you here. Thanks for being here. I am a mental health therapist and I work with moms and pregnant women, and I'm all about helping women through the transition to motherhood and not just surviving it, but finding a way to actually enjoy life, to get through feeling good and feeling balanced as much as you can. So that's what I'm here to help you with. If you haven't already, I'd love you to subscribe to the channel and you'll get updates when I post new videos, which is every Wednesday. So today I'm here to talk about postpartum body image, right? So how to accept yourself even if you don't really love all of the things that are changing. So let's jump into today's video. Okay, so what I want to talk about is that experience after you have a baby, when you're standing in the mirror and you're looking at your body and you're having a hard time loving it. I've been there, I get that. If you struggle to like yourself, to even be okay with your physical self, then this video is for you, okay? I know not everybody struggles. I know some moms have no problem just rolling with it and appreciating how their body's changed, and that's great. But this video is really for you if you have a hard time accepting the way things are right now, okay? So the first piece is just acknowledging that as your body changes, there's judgment about that. And a lot of that comes from what you've learned about your body all through your life. So I just want to say that right off the bat, that if you're struggling with body image, it's not your fault. You have grown up quite likely in a culture that values you for certain things and has a very rigid ideas of what you're supposed to look like, even as a pregnant woman, even postpartum. I'd say even more so, right? So you might have already noticed some body image challenges when you were pregnant, because we have this notion of how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to have this cute little basketball stomach and only show in your tummy, and everything else should be normal, right? And it's just totally unrealistic. So you might have already noticed yourself not feeling that great when you were pregnant. And then postpartum is a whole other situation. We don't often see what postpartum women's bodies actually look like, for one. So you might have been quite surprised to see yourself. Your expectations of what your body would do and how it would look afterwards probably weren't met, because those expectations were likely not accurate to begin with, okay? So what often happens, and what I see in my work as a counselor, and also in my own experience, to be totally honest, is that you feel a bit of shame. You feel embarrassed. You don't really like what you see, okay? You think you should be in a different place. You think you should lose weight. You think you shouldn't have had stretch marks or, all the other things that change, right? And so we judge ourselves and we criticize ourselves. So the first thing I want you to do is to notice that criticism, okay? Just notice it right now. Like, what are some of the criticisms that you have? What types of things do you say to yourself? So if that part of you is a separate part, like a critical part, what things does she say? How does she make you feel? Okay, so identifying the criticisms is a really important first step, because we're all different, right? Somebody might criticize themselves for their discoloration in their skin. Another person might criticize stretch marks. Another person might criticize the way their breasts have changed after breastfeeding, right? So there's so many different ways we criticize ourselves. So notice what that is for yourself, okay? The next thing I want you to do is see if you can access a different part of you, a part that's a little bit wiser, has more perspective. So this is your compassionate self, okay? This is that part that we want to be in. This is that like mother energy, that part of you that actually knows that you're okay no matter what your body looks like, right? This part might be foreign to you. You might have a hard time accessing it, but I just want you to know that it is there, right? That you can step into that place of really honoring yourself. I'm going to help you do that a little bit today. So if you imagine that you have a critical part, you have a compassionate part, how do we get into that compassionate part? Well, we can ask a series of questions, and I'm actually going to create a resource, and I'll link it below. So a workbook that's going to help you go through these questions, okay? So asking yourself, for example, how does a normal body change when for a woman when she grows and delivers a baby? What's normal? What could you expect? What would you say to your friend? So if you think of your best friend who just had a baby, or maybe even a few years ago, and she's still struggling with the changes that her body went through, what would you say to her? Okay. So usually we're way more compassionate to our friends than we are to ourselves. But it's okay, don't judge yourself for that, just notice it. And notice that place of compassion, that's where we want to get you into for yourself, all right? And I want you to see from that place if you can gain some perspective, right? Zooming out and reminding yourself that maybe this is only temporary. Maybe this is just a few years that I feel this way about myself, or that I don't love what I see, right? It's just temporary. So sometimes having that perspective can help you feel a little bit more tolerant of yourself if you don't like what you're seeing or feeling, okay? So we also want to reframe the way that we're thinking about our bodies in general. So this is a strategy that, again, I'm going to present it. It's going to be a concept. Don't think that you're going to get this right away. But I just want to offer it. So often we think of ourselves as aesthetic objects. So we value our bodies based on how we look, how other people think we look, how they judge our aesthetic. How beautiful are we? How well do we fit into the mold, right? That's a really dangerous thinking pattern. Again, it's not your fault. That's what society has given you. That's what society has taught you. But what if you could shift that and start to evaluate your body based on your function and how you feel, right? What you're capable of doing. So I often coach women and moms and pregnant women to think about the wonder that their body is going through. Like, be in awe of yourself. Like, oh my gosh, I just created a human being. My body grew a human. My body is producing the most perfect milk to sustain life. My body is healing. My body is able to get pregnant again, possibly, right? Like, what a freaking miracle. I get goosebumps as I say that. But this really helps shift you out of that aesthetic judgment and gets you more into a place of gratitude for the function and the magic and the wonder of your body. So if you can shift energetically into that place, right, being in awe of yourself, it can help you change the way you're relating to your body, your incredible, strong body, right? So something that you can also do to support that practice is body gratitude, right? So thinking of like, what are you grateful for that your body helped you achieve? Okay, it could be simple things like having a sip of that coffee or that glass of wine. If your body didn't function the way it did, you wouldn't even be able to enjoy it. Your body allows you to do that. Your body allows you to have sex if you enjoy sex. Your body allows you to move, like to run, to walk, to feel the sun. So tapping into that place can be really helpful. Like, what does your body allow you to do? Okay, so notice the shift. It's a lot different than like judging yourself for stretch marks and having too much fat or not fitting into your old pants. Like, that is superficial. I know it's so deeply ingrained, but think of how differently that feels versus being in awe and wonder of your physical self. It's pretty cool, I think. The last piece that I want to offer you is this concept of neutrality toward your body, that you don't have to love yourself. So I don't know about you, but I hear a lot of messages around like, yeah, I love you. And to be honest, I contribute in a way to this, but love yourself, love your body. I love everything about me. I accept everything about me. That might not be true. You might not actually love everything about you. I often give the example of skin, right? It's like, oh, I don't love that I have a pimple. I don't really love sunspots all over my face. Like, I don't need to convince myself that I love these things, but I don't have to hate them either, right? So like, what if you could achieve or arrive at a neutral place toward your body where you accept it, like it just is. It's not good or bad. So maybe you notice stretch marks, or maybe you notice changes in your breast, and you don't have to say, I love that, but you might say, oh yeah, that's different. It just is. So you're not hating it. So sometimes that's a more realistic place to work toward, body neutrality or even just acceptance, but not necessarily love. You don't have to love every single thing. Okay, so I hope that gives you permission to yeah, just reach for a more neutral, more of a middle ground with your body. So what other questions do you have? What other support do you need around body image? I know this is a journey, so you know, as I shared this in 10 minutes, this is by no means like a comprehensive lesson on body image, but I just wanted to share a few ideas to start getting you thinking about yourself in a different way, and ultimately in a more supportive, accepting way, right? You are worthy of supporting yourself. You are worthy of being compassionate toward yourself, no matter what your body looks like. And I would really love to help support you get there, okay? So again, I'm gonna link a resource for you, a workbook, totally free, just to work through some of these questions that I addressed in this video. And if you like this video, if you like this kind of learning, then subscribe to the channel and you'll get notifications when I post new videos. So I'll be posting every Wednesday, and again, all about supporting maternal mental health and mental health in pregnancy as well. Take good care, and thanks again for being here.